Ever seen a man stand tall even when the world tried to break him? Stay till the end, because this story will change the way you see heroes. And if you believe in respect, honor, and justice, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more real-life inspirations. It started like any other cold morning in the small town of Cedar Falls. The streets were quiet except for the sound of an old pickup truck pulling into the school parking lot. Inside sat Daniel Brooks, a single father and a decorated Army veteran who had served 3 tours overseas. He was dropping off his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, her backpack twice her size and her smile bright enough to warm the coldest heart. "Remember, sweetheart," he said, adjusting her pink scarf, "be kind today, no matter what." Lily nodded, hugged him tight, and ran off to class. Daniel watched her go with pride, and a little sadness. Life after service hadn't been easy. His wife had passed away while he was deployed, and since returning home, Daniel had worked any job he could find just to keep food on the table. But no matter how hard it got, he never complained. He had fought for freedom. Now, he was fighting for his daughter. That same afternoon, everything changed. Daniel was on his way home after a long shift at a car repair shop when flashing lights filled his rearview mirror. 2 patrol cars boxed him in. Confused, he pulled over. "Hands where I can see them." One of the officers barked, guns drawn. Daniel froze, raising his hands slowly. "Officer, is there a problem?" "You're under arrest for resisting eviction and trespassing on federal property," the taller cop sneered, snapping handcuffs onto his wrists before he could finish. "Eviction? That's my home," Daniel protested. "I paid the rent. The landlord, he promised me an extension until payday." But his words meant nothing. The officers smirked, exchanging laughs. "Tell it to the judge, soldier boy." Lily, waiting at her friend's house nearby, saw her father being shoved into the back of the police car. She screamed, "Daddy!" But they drove off before she could reach him. That night, Daniel sat alone in a cold cell, staring at the cracked wall. He wasn't angry, just tired. The system he had defended was now turning its back on him. All he could think of was Lily's face when she'd seen him taken away. 2 days later, his case was rushed to court. The local news picked it up. Single dad veteran arrested after refusing to vacate rental home. The courtroom buzzed with reporters and onlookers. Daniel stood there, his hands shaking slightly, not from fear, but from frustration. The prosecutor painted him as a troublemaker. "Your Honor, Mr. Brooks refused to comply with lawful orders and caused a public disturbance." Daniel's public defender barely said a word. It was clear, this was going to be a quick conviction. Then the doors opened. A man in full military uniform stepped into the courtroom. The crowd turned silent as the insignia on his shoulder gleamed under the fluorescent lights, a 4-star general. He walked straight down the aisle, his polished boots echoing like thunder. "Proceedings will halt immediately," the judge ordered, startled. "General, what is the meaning of this?" The general turned toward the bench, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "Your Honor, I am General Marcus Hale, commander of the U.S. Armed Forces Central Division. And this man, Daniel Brooks, is a decorated veteran who saved my life in Afghanistan." A gasp rippled through the courtroom. The same cops who had laughed now looked pale. General Hale continued, "On August 14, 2013, our convoy was ambushed. I was trapped under debris. Bullets flying, chaos everywhere, and this man refused to retreat. He carried me 2 miles under enemy fire. He lost 2 of his best friends that day, and never once spoke about it." He turned toward Daniel. "And now you put him in handcuffs for being poor." His voice cracked. "This is not justice. This is shameful." The courtroom fell silent. The judge, visibly shaken, cleared his throat. "All charges against Mr. Brooks are dismissed, effective immediately." Daniel stood there, speechless. Tears welled up in his eyes as the general approached and saluted him. "You didn't deserve this, son. You deserve a home, a job, and the respect you've earned." The general then addressed the media waiting outside. "If we can spend billions sending men to war, we can spend a little more helping them live when they come home." Within hours, the story went viral. Donations poured in from across the country. Veterans organizations reached out. The town that had once turned its back on Daniel now stood behind him. 2 weeks later, Daniel and Lily moved into a new home, a gift arranged quietly by General Hale himself. When Lily saw her new bedroom, she looked up at her father and whispered, "Are we safe now, Daddy?" Daniel smiled, kneeling beside her. "Yes, sweetheart. We're home." Months passed, and Daniel began working as a mechanic at a nearby Air Force base, this time, with full benefits and stability. But more importantly, he began speaking at schools and veteran events, sharing his story not to gain sympathy, but to remind people that heroes don't stop being heroes when the uniform comes off. And every time he finished his speech, he'd end the same way, by saying, "The measure of a nation isn't how it treats its soldiers in war, but how it treats them when they come home." So if you're still watching, take a second to honor every man and woman who's fought for something bigger than themselves. Hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories, and share this one with someone who still believes in second chances. Because sometimes, all it takes is one moment of respect to remind the world what true honor looks like.